Good evening, everyone. Hello, 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 hello. How is everyone doing this evening? Again, we are back to give you another production or reenactment of the Cardi B versus Tasha K defamation slander case trial, which occurred back in January 2022 on the 10th of January, and it ended on the 25th of January. So tonight we're going to do a reenactment. We're doing reenactment, continuing of exactly what happened in the courtroom. So we have some wonderful, wonderful actors and readers this evening. My first one will be our deputy court reporter, Miss Powerful herself. Hello, Miss Powerful. How are you?
Hello.
How you doing this evening? All right. Our next wonderful actor, and reader is our own Miss Olga, and she is played by Miss Timiria. Hello, hello, hello. Unmute yourself, Miss Timiria. Okay, she's busy right now. All right, our next actress is played by our wonderful, wonderful um, Miss, not Miss, but our judge for this evening, Judge Ray, is played by no other than Miss T. Jones in the house.
Hello, everybody.
Hey. All right, our next actress, aka Rita, will be our very own. She has played so many different parts of Cardi's different legal team, and today she's playing Miss Moore, our own couch potato, aka also known as Miss Purple Couch. Hello, hello, hello.
Hello, hello.
All right. Okay. Without further ado, we have a wonderful guest this evening who is playing no other than Cardi B. Our special guest is all the way from the state of Florida, Miss Diana. She is going to play Cardi B. Hello, Miss Diana.
Hello, everybody.
Give us the Cardi B talk.
Okay.
Okay. All right, guys. Are you guys ready for this evening's reenactment? Is everybody ready? All
Yes,
right.
yes.
All right. Let's get it going. Let's get it popping. Here we go.
Okay. Please raise your right hand. Who are you talking to?
It says, please raise your right hand.
I think we should be. I think we should be starting at We're starting
Line
at
12. Line 12.
did the court do their line last night?
Yes, they did. We're on
Okay.
line 12.
Okay, please raise your right hand.
And then you finish herein.
This would be for Cardi to say her name.
No,
I
you
say
say
my
No,
name
you
right
say
here.
her name.
you say her name.
Oh, Belcalis. Oh boy. Marlenis Almanes.
It's
Here.
Delcalis Marlenis Almanzar.
Okay. Herein, having been first duly sworn, was examined and testified as followed. Thank you.
All right. And you've been fully vaccinated. If you could remove your mask when you testify, thank you.
Cardi, can you please state your full name for the jury?
My name is Belcalis Marlenis Almanzar.
Cardi, Where were you born?
I was born in Washington Heights.
Is that in New York?
Yes.
Are your parents still alive?
Yes.
What did your parents do for a living when you were growing up?
My mom, she worked for a college cafeteria as a cashier, and my dad was a cab driver.
Do you have any siblings?
Yes.
Brother or sister?
Both. Younger, older.
One is older and one is younger?
Yes.
Is your sister older or younger?
Huh?
Is your sister older or younger?
Younger.
How would you describe your family?
My family?
Uh-huh.
I have a very big family from both sides of my family. We're very, very close. We're very close. We're a very fun family. We usually link up every weekend in our grandmother's house. Not our house, but our grandmother's apartment, where she's been living there for like 30 years.
Were grandparents a big part of your life
Yes,
on both your mom and dad's side?
both.
Cardi, what was your childhood like?
Well, I grew up in a rough neighborhood. I grew up in a very rough neighborhood. I grew up in the Bronx and I went to school. I always say this. I always say this because I always tell people that I felt like I didn't have much of a childhood because I had very chronic asthma when I was growing up. So I couldn't do a lot of activities that I wanted to do. Like I couldn't play in the snow because the winter agitates my asthma. My mom didn't let me run, didn't let me play outside. So I was really like always in the house. So I became like a teenager and she just,
So, Cardi, you said you grew up in a rough neighborhood. Was it also a poor neighborhood?
yeah, poor neighborhood.
So you weren't born with a silver spoon in your mouth, suffice it to say.
No.
Did you grow up in a religious household?
Yes, I did grow up in a religious household, which is kind of funny. It's kind of funny because my mom, she's Christian and my dad is Catholic. But since like my dad, he kind of overruled it, so I'm more Catholic and I study more Catholic and I went to a Sunday Catholic church. So, yeah, very religious, but it was like they were trying to teach me both, but I went more the Catholic way.
Did you go to Catholic Sunday school every Sunday?
Yes, for 2 years until I made my first communion.
So your faith is important to you.
Yes.
Do you consider yourself a deeply religious person?
I have a strong faith in God. I pray every single day. I consider myself very, very faith, very much.
Are you married, Carly?
Yes.
When did you meet your husband?
I met him in 2017.
How long have you been married?
4 years.
And do you and your husband have children?
Yes.
How many?
Two.
And how old are they?
I have a 3-year-old daughter and a 4-month-old baby boy.
So, is it fair to say that you're very busy juggling your career and two very young children?
Yes. Very fair, overly fair.
Cardi, can you tell us a little bit about your education?
Well, I graduated high school. And after high school, I went to community college. I did 2 semesters. Then I dropped out for a little bit. Then I went for 1 semester. Then I didn't complete it. So I'd say like 2.5 semesters in college.
Did you go to a regular high school?
Yes, public high school.
Was it a public high school that had any emphasis on performing?
Yes, it's called Renaissance High School for Musical Theater and Technology.
When did you graduate from high school? What year?
I graduated in 2010.
Have you always wanted to be a performer?
Yes.
What was the name of the community college you went to?
A borough of Manhattan Community College.
What neighborhood is that in?
The college?
Uh huh.
It's in Manhattan, like really deep downtown, Chamber Street.
Cardi, approximately when did you start dancing?
I started dancing when I was 18. I would say about 6 months before I turned 19.
Okay, was that around the time you were in college?
Yes.
So you were in college and dancing at the same time?
Yes.
Why did you start dancing?
There's a story. Well, I was working at a supermarket that was in the same block as my college and I got fired. So I kept talking to the manager and I kept telling him, like, can you please talk to the supervisor? It was a mistake. I'm a little late. I know, but I don't live very far. And he was like, I don't think you really want to hear it. But like, he suggested me to go and audition across the street from the supermarket and across the street from my school. It was a strip club. He was how, like, really, I'm pretty and I'm petite and I might make good money there. So I auditioned and I got the job.
I'll bet he's regretting that decision. So, Cardi, your school, your if I understood you correctly, did you say your school, the community college you referenced, the strip club, and the supermarket where you had been working were in the same vicinity together?
Yes.
Was there any financial motive to become a stripper apart from you lost your job at the supermarket?
Yes. Well, at the time I was living with my boyfriend and it was a very, very toxic, abusive relationship. I really wanted to move out. I just really needed money. I couldn't even pay my phone bill at the time. Couldn't even pay my phone bill at the time.
So, Cardi, where were you stripping? What was the name of the club?
It's called New York Dolls, and it's called New York Dolls. And I decided to just dance there for a week because I was afraid for somebody from my school to see me there. So I went to different strip clubs in Manhattan to hire me, but they usually hire you like 21 and older. So there was this one strip club that hired me on 42nd Street. It was called Lace 2. So I worked there for a long time.
How did the when you first started stripping, how did the money you were making dancing compare to, for example, the money you were making at the supermarket?
Well, I could say this. I was usually getting paid from the supermarket about 270 a week. And the first night that I worked, I made $300. And I was like, oh my goodness, wow. Like, this is what I made my whole week. And I worked 5 days. So, yeah, it was like a difference.
So that enabled you to become financially independent?
Yes.
When you were stripping, Cardi, did you meet a woman named Star Marie Jones?
I met her at a club. I met her at a club that I started working when I was I'll say about 19, turning 20. I seen her and she was very, I would say, like unique. Like she had like a very strange personality. And she had like a very strange personality. So a lot of girls didn't like her. Like a lot of girls didn't like her. They didn't really like her. So I felt like they would kind of like pick on her because she would do certain things that I wasn't really aware of. But like she would do like certain things that she ended up doing to me. Then I was, oh, okay.
Can you be more specific? Like what types of things?
Like when girls are dancing and people are throwing money in the air, she would pick up people's money. She would, if a girl has a customer and you have to go on stage and dance, she would go to the customer even though like that's like somebody's customer. I don't know. People just girls don't like that. So I specifically remember her that there was this one night that some girls, they really wanted to beat her ass. They wanted to beat her ass. And I felt like they were like super ganging up on her. So I was like, yo, y'all need to chill. Y'all need to chill because they were like already like kind of throwing her stuff. They were kind of like putting their fingers like in her face. And she was like by herself. So I was like, y'all need to chill. Like y'all need to relax. And I went to like the bathroom and I told like the house mom, like, yo, they wilding and they bugging out in there, like they in the dressing room. So I guess like the house mom is like the lady like sell clothes and everybody goes to. So she went and she stopped it. So from there on, I felt like Star Marie. She was like, will come up to me like really randomly and give me a compliment. Like, hi Camilla, you look really nice today. Camilla, I saw how you was. That was my dancer name, by the way. I saw how you was dancing. I saw that you was dancing. Wow, you're really good at pole dancing. She just kept like kind of wanting to like be my friend.
Were you friends with Star Marie Jones?
I was never friends with her. I was never friends with her.
Did you ever spend time with her when you weren't dancing?
Never. I never spent time with her ever, ever.
And you didn't socialize or go to parties or
Never, never. I never seen her out the club. I don't know nothing about her personal life, nothing. I feel like there was two. The biggest encounters that I ever had was that day that she was going to get herself beat up. And then there was another time that I was dancing. You know, I was dancing. And like I said, when you're dancing and somebody, they throw money in the air, but you're still dancing, you're not picking up the money. So she started picking up some of my money. And I touched her with my feet. Like, what are you doing? So whatever. She just kept like kind of grabbing and she just kept like grabbing some money and then she left. And then in the dressing room,
so Cardi, let me interrupt you for a second. I'm sorry. When you were defending her and you felt like these women were about to attack her,
uh
did I understand that you said that she was sort of acting off, like she was sort of acting altered? Is that what you said?
yes, like it was something about her that it just wasn't like normal.
Do you think that she perhaps suffered from a mental illness?
I think so. I always felt like she just wasn't there. Like everybody noticed that she just wasn't there.
Okay, so going back, I'm sorry. So you never hung out with her.
Never.
You didn't talk to her on the phone?
Never.
Did she ever come to where you lived?
Never.
She'd never been in your home.
No.
Have you ever been in her home?
No.
Did you sue Star Marie Jones for the defamatory and disgusting lies she told about you?
Yes, I did.
And where was that lawsuit filed?
In New York.
Okay, Cardi, going back to your sort of the evolution of your professional career, can you sort of take us from the time you started stripping? Did you say you were 17 or 18?
I was 18.
Okay, 18. So you started stripping. Obviously, that's a big jump for where you are today.
Uh-huh.
One of the biggest, if not the biggest, stars on the planet. Can you tell us a little bit about how you went from stripping to where you are today, just briefly?
Well, I was stripping and I became like I guess like an internet sensation. I would just talk about different types of topics on social media. Well, not really different type of topics, more like woman and girl things that were going on or like things that I will see or hear or experience in the strip clubs. And I just kept dancing. I was hosting parties all over the United States and I made enough money to fund my music career. So around I would say when I was 22 years old. So when I was 22 years old, I started making enough money to get studio sessions and being able to fund my music videos. I guess when I was around 23, I had a manager and he gave me the opportunity to be on this TV show called Love and Hip Hop. And that made me way much bigger. That made me way much bigger. It's a drama TV reality show. It's a drama TV reality show. And I wanted like to be in it for more exposure, but I was doing music at the time as well. And when they offered me to do a third season, I declined because I felt like it was bad for my career, for my music career, and that's where my passion was for my music. So I just decided to like, even though the money was good for love and hip hop, I'd rather just step away from it for my music career. And I did my mixtape.
What year was that, Cardi, that you dropped your first mixtape?
I dropped my mixtape around, I say about 2016. But I'd already dropped songs already and dropped my mixtape 2016. A lot of people, It was really hard for people to take my music seriously because, I was already on Love and Hip Hop. I had to prove that I'm a real artist. So I just kept recording, recording. I was hosting parties around the United States. So every party that I was going in the United States, I was performing my songs and people would listen to it. So I recorded people listening and rapping to my music. So when I presented it to a record label in 2017 and I showed them the numbers that my music was doing and I showed them going to different states and people rapping to my music, they gave me a record label deal. And when I signed my record label deal, I thought things were going to be different. I thought, that's the every artist's goal. But I still felt like my music wasn't mainstream. It wasn't mainstream. I still felt like people wasn't listening to me on the radios. I wasn't being invited to music show awards, music events. I felt like I wasn't really being invited yet. And in 2017, 6 months, I say about 6 to 5 months later, after I signed my record label deal, I did one song, and that song changed my life forever. It made me everything that I worked hard for. It finally paid off.
What song was that?
It's called Bodak Yellow.
Cardi, can you explain for the jury, please, what a mixtape is?
A mixtape is it's almost like an album, but people will consider it your mixtape because certain songs have samples of other music that are like not authorized yet. So you will put like a project with a couple of your songs out.
So it sounds like one reason you left dancing was to focus exclusively on your music. Is that correct?
Yes.
Were there other aspects of stripping that you didn't like?
There was a lot of things about stripping that I didn't like. Well, first, I always tell this to people because people will think that like stripping is, you make a lot of money, you make this and that, and sometimes you'll leave home with $15, or sometimes you'll leave negative. And when I'm talking about negative, you have to pay a house fee to work. So in New York City, when I used to work, I would have to pay $150 to work, and sometimes if you didn't make that $150, you already paid the 150, so you just went home negative. On top of that, there was just sometimes men disrespecting your space, talking to you in a crazy way. Sometimes men are, they're having fun, and sometimes like you just have to continuously repeat the rules. Like as a dancer, you have to continuously repeat the rules because men have to follow certain rules when they're in the strip clubs. So as a dancer, when they were doing those type of things, it aggravated me and I felt like violated, like you're not respecting me as a human. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, Cardi. Were there strict rules when you were dancing at a strip club about prohibiting prostitution?
Of course, prostitution in New York and in the strip club is illegal. And if you get caught prostituting, not only would you get fired, you will go to jail. And that is the major rule. And that is the major rule for the dancers and for males. They cannot even touch your vaginal area or your breasts or like play with your underwear, nothing like that. So it was very, very strict rules.
So obviously, dancing and the criminal activity of prostitution are entirely different.
Yes.
But it sounds like from what you're saying, some of the men coming to this club assumed that strippers were also prostitutes.
Yes. And I had a,
That's incorrect.
huh?
And that's incorrect.
And that's incorrect.
I wanted to go back to one thing. When you were dancing and Star Marie Jones was working in the same club with
Yes.
you testified that you weren't friends. She'd never come to your house and you didn't socialize.
Never.
So she had no basis to know anything about your life.
None.
Cardi, when is the first time you heard of Tasha K, one of the defendants in the courtroom?
The first time I heard of Tasha K was when I was in my hashtags on my Cardi B hashtag.
Can you explain for the jury what you mean when you say in your hashtags?
Okay, so a hashtag is like when somebody like hashtags your name or a place or a restaurant. And if you go to the hashtags, like there's, like it says like tags, hashtags, and you can see the hashtags and you type in what you want to see. So if you like, I don't know, if you like McDonald's and you're looking for McDonald's around, I don't know, you put McDonald's and a hashtag McDonald's, and then you'll see different pictures of people in McDonald's or something about McDonald's, or McDonald's probably hashtag it. My hashtag, of course, is Cardi B. So when I search my hashtag with my name, I see her. I see her stuff pop up.
So when you're talking about your hashtag Cardi B,
Uh huh.
you're talking about your hashtag that's on social media, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so I'm sorry. You were in your comments, and what exactly did you see the first time you came across Tasha K?
I saw that she was practically talking about how she had an exclusive with Star Marie about this whole herpes thing, and that she lived with me and all this thing, all of that.
So, in addition to using the hashtag, which as you just explained to the jury, people can do searches on social media with hashtags, correct?
Yes.
Were you also tagged?
Yes. I was tagged various times, like tagged with the ad.
So, the difference being when you're tagged, you get a notification, correct?
Yes.
Cardi, if you, I know it's probably hard, but if you can go back to that moment in time when you and your hashtags and you first saw this woman, well, you saw Tasha K promoting this interview,
Uh huh.
saying these vile and disgusting and untrue things about you,
Yes.
what were you thinking? How did you feel?
I was very upset because like I really like I didn't really understand, because it's like not that I didn't understand. It's like out of anybody, like, I felt like Star Marie, she didn't know me. She doesn't know me, We worked in the same strip clubs, but you don't know me. You know what I'm saying? I never had a friendship with you. I never went outside the club with you. I never hung out with you. I never spoke on the phone with you. So I was just so confused. Like I couldn't even believe that somebody would say so much lies about me that I don't even know.
So the things that were being said in that promo were untrue. Is that correct?
Yes.
So just to make sure I understand you correctly, when you were in your hashtags and you saw that for the first time,
Uh-huh.
you had not ever heard of Tasha K prior to that moment?
No. I never heard of her.
You were not aware of her Unwind with Tasha K platform?
No.
You were not aware of any of her other various handles or channels?
No, I wasn't.
What did you do when you came across this?
When I came across it, I wrote a couple of comments under her post, and I just kept saying, like, this is not true. This is not true. She never lived with me. And I was trying to give Tasha K some receipts that that woman doesn't know me. And I also went to her direct messages, which are called DMs. And I was trying to explain to her, like, yo, this woman is lying. I never lived with her. She never lived with me. I don't even know her.
So you were making it clear that she didn't live with you.
Yes.
She didn't know anything about your life.
No.
And that you, at that point, had you seen her accusations that you were a prostitute and did cocaine?
She was saying like she has an exclusive of the thing that Star Marie was saying.
So you saw the defamatory statements, correct?
Yes. And I also saw like a clip of what they were going to speak about.
Right. So even though you knew this woman in the sense that I might know the facilities person at my law firm who does janitorial work, but I don't know anything about him. Is that what you're saying?
Exactly. Just because we were coworkers, it doesn't mean that I know you or you know me. I mean,
Did Tasha K respond to your comments? The first thing you did saying this is not true, none of these things are true. Did she respond in the comments to you?
she was kind of like baiting me to like keep responding, because the more comments that I made, the more engagement that she was getting on her page. And then I hit her on the direct message, and she asked me if I wanted to come on her platform and address the things, and I said no.
So why did you decline her interview?
I declined her interview because I felt like I was going to be bigger than what it was, and because my management, they was not going to accept that.
So you didn't want to bring any more attention to it. Is that what you're saying?
No.
You just wanted her to stop and then to go away. Is that correct?
Yes, to stop and at least make some considerations to the truth.
You wanted her to stop saying defamatory things about you, correct?
Yes.
And when you declined her offer to go on her show,
Yes.
what did she do?
She just kept posting and posting and kept making more. She just kept adding me. She just kept making things like to bait me in to keep hitting her up and for people to keep seeing and for people to go see the video.
Did you feel like when you saw that hashtag that you had to immediately speak out to let her know it wasn't true? Those things were not true?
Immediately. And that's exactly what I did. I went to her comment defending myself, letting her know that I don't know this woman and I never lived with her. And I went to her direct messages when she where she asked me if I could go if I want to address it on her platform.
And when you said just now, when you testified that she kept talking and talking and talking, are you saying that she continued to repeat the same defamatory lies that you are, that she said you are a prostitute, that you use cocaine, that you have herpes? Is that what you're referencing when you say talking and talking and talking?
Yes.
How did that make you feel in the face of putting her on notice immediately that those things weren't true and then reaching out to her directly to ask her to stop? That she just continued doing this anyway?
I felt like she just didn't care for the truth because she never cared for the truth. She only cared about like the views or like the clickbait on her pages. Because even around this time that it was going on, there was a lot of receipts debunking everything that Star Marie was saying, and she still didn't care. And other YouTubers that reported on the whole Star Marie and me thing, they got those receipts and they actually retracted what they said, and she never did. She never even cared to. She never even cared to care about it.
Did that make you feel helpless?
It made me feel helpless, of course. Made me feel helpless and just made me feel like, damn, like,
Like I've asked this woman nicely to stop and she doesn't care at all.
Objection leading.
Sustain.
How else do you feel, Cardi? Sometimes frustrated and helpless. How else were you feeling when she's continuing to repeat these disgusting defamatory statements about you over and over and over?
at first I felt irritated, of course. I felt irritated the first day and a couple of days, but then she just kept doing this every single week. And I started getting depressed because I just felt really hopeless, helpless, and hopeless. On top of that, she just kept saying more lies about me, kept harassing my family, kept saying very disturbing lies about my family, especially one about my father, where she claimed that my father raped a teenager. It was just constant harassment.
Was this, I'm just trying to understand the time frame. So when you told her you would not come on her show,
Huh?
when you told her you would not come on her show,
Yes.
she immediately sort of doubled down on these things and she was talking and talking and talking. Was it like, let me ask my question. Was that at the same time that she was saying these things about you? She was also saying things about your family members?
Not at that time.
Okay.
Not at that time.
So clarify.
She just kept continuing over time. Over time, she just kept, if she couldn't make something up about me, she would make something up about my family.
Cardi, what do you understand the term dragging to mean?
All right. So this is how I would describe dragging. Um, this is how dragging is. All right. So you know when you fight somebody, right? When somebody's fighting somebody and they're dragging somebody on the floor, like dragging you. So online, if somebody say I'm about to drag you, it's like they're going to drag you, but with their words. So it's just like when somebody's going to say they're going to drag you online, is that they're going to say very negative, messed up things about you, like nothing positive.
So not just criticism,
Huh?
not just criticism.
Not just criticism. It could just be anything. I mean, when you're dragging somebody, when you're fighting, you're not having regards of how they're getting hurt. So when you're dragging somebody online, you're not having regard whether it's criticisms or not. Like you're dragging them to hurt.
Cardi, do you have herpes?
No,
Do you have HPV?
no,
Are you a prostitute?
no,
Have you ever been a prostitute?
no,
Have you ever used cocaine?
no.
Why is the statement that you use cocaine so offensive to you?
Cocaine to me is offensive. I don't like to judge people, okay? I don't like to judge people for what they do, but where my community, where I'm from, cocaine is something that is looked down upon because it just goes from crack cocaine. And crack is like crack cocaine, like really messed up in my community. You know what I'm saying? Like it just all involved the crack. Everybody knows the term crack is whack. It's not something that is cute to do. Like it's just something that is like very beneath to you or to people from my community. Like we just don't think that's to do. Like I don't like that.
It's not acceptable, is what you're saying?
It's not acceptable.
Cardi, have you ever engaged in a performance where you took a beer bottle from a stranger?
Uh-huh.
And I apologize for my language. And you stuck it up your vagina and pleasured yourself and then took it out of your vagina, took a sip of it, and then handed it back to some stranger?
No, I never did those things.
Have you ever engaged in any debasing act with a beer bottle, public or private?
No.
Have you ever cheated on your husband?
No.
Cardi, we heard a lot of testimony the past 2 days about the numerous posts and videos where Tasha K is talking about you.
Uh-huh.
Did you feel like those posts and videos were directed to you?
It was directed at me for sure
And why do you feel that way?
because she was talking to me.
What else was she doing to direct it to you?
She was acting me. She was hashtagging me.
So she was taking sure that you saw it and that you got notified.
Yes.
So by doing that, by using the hashtag
Yes.
and by using your username,
Uh-huh.
that actually tags you.
Yes.
That means that everybody else on social media could see those same vile statements, correct?
Yes. And one thing about YouTube, right? One thing about YouTube that if you hashtag the artist names, those videos will come under the artist video. So if you go on YouTube and you type in Cardi B, right? Some of my music videos will come up, but also other gossip blogs videos that they made about me. So it would just be all in the Cardi B algorithm. So sometimes it might be a music video that is the first video they see, and the second one might be hers.
So I just want to be clear for the jury. Cardi, when you said she was adding you, you meant she was using your username as a tag at.
Username, and she was hashtagging me on every platform.
How does it make you feel to have spent more than 2 years trying to make the defendant stop and they've refused?
A lot of feelings. It makes me feel helpless. It gave me fatigue, tired, anxiety. When this whole thing was happening and when this whole thing started happening, I fell into a deep depression. Every morning I was waking up. Every time that I wake up, I was having anxiety. And so I slept and slept as soon as I can. I was feeling like I was getting like panic attacks. I was extremely suicidal. Like I had suicidal thoughts every single day to the point that I just felt like I was being a burden to my family because like my family, like my mother, my husband, like they could notice it. They could notice that I wasn't happy. They could notice that I couldn't even think straight. I I was shake when I'm like holding my baby. I felt like I didn't deserve my kid and I felt and I say that right because like I felt like I'm so sad and I'm depressed and I have the biggest gift from God, and I also felt like I was like ungrateful to what God has given me. And I felt ungrateful because I'm married. Every girl want to be married. Every girl want to have a beautiful child. I have a gorgeous daughter and I have a successful career. And that's everything that I prayed to God to give me. And God gave me that. And I felt depressed. Like I felt Like I show God that the devil took my mind. And I say that because it's like the things that I felt like she was doing, it was demonic. Like only an evil person, a demon, could do that shit. Sorry. Sorry, my language. That's just how I felt. And that's how I was feeling at the time. I lost a lot of weight. I lost a lot of weight. I kept getting headaches because I kept crying. I kept being angry. And that is the development of something that I developed that I found out in 2020, that I have migraines. And I also was afraid of what people would think about me in my business because I'm also an actress. You know what I'm saying? I'm about to do a movie, and I always felt like I'm not going to have people wanting to kiss me or, do certain things for TV or for my music videos because they think that I might have this disease that you claim that I had,
Do you mean like a movie, for example, somebody would not want to be your love interest,
like my love interest,
like their role?
like their role, exactly.
Cardi, the anxiety and depression and suicidal thoughts you were just talking about,
hmm
did you have any of that before this started with Tasha K?
I never had any of that. And I never had any of that. Like I said, I've had rough times. I've been homeless. I've been beat up by men that I've been with. I grew up very poor, but I never felt like I wanted to die. I felt for like a long time that I'd rather be dead than alive. I felt like I was just a person just living but dead. Dead in the inside. I didn't want to live.
When you were talking about feeling guilty because you felt like you wanted to die, but you had a baby,
Yeah.
how old were you, referencing your daughter?
Yes.
How old was Culture at that point?
She was a couple months old. Like this whole thing was happening. She was a couple months old, and it just kept happening throughout her whole life. Like this woman has been talking crazy about me throughout her whole life. And I don't know if this is part of the question or not, but I even felt limited to doing certain things that I feel like it's normal to do because of the shit that people would say in the comments. Like for example, right? I posted a picture of my daughter when she was a couple of months old where I'm kissing her slightly on the lips, and there were comments under where it's talking about Cardi, don't you have herpes? Wait a minute. Cardi, if you have herpes, that mean that your daughter have herpes too, right? Oh, Cardi, you shouldn't be kissing your daughter on the lips. They say that you have herpes, right?
So, Cardi, I think I heard you mention a few minutes ago that your parents were very alarmed at your mental state. Is that correct?
Yes.
Can you elaborate on that?
Objection. Hearsay.
So the purpose that you asked that question is what exactly?
Could you be more specific, Cardi, about what your parents were saying to you? I'm just trying to understand what her family was saying to her in this moment. Were they, how they were communicating their concern for you? That's the question.
So it seems to me that the question is not seeking the information for the truth of the matter asserted, but that it's actually said to her, which could factor in the claims that she made it in the case. So the objection is overruled.
Thank you, Your Honor. Go ahead, Cardi.
My mom just kept saying, like, pray, pray, everything is going to be all right. You're blessed, pray, pray, pray. But then she also was having, like, really bad concerns to a point, like, she just kept talking to my husband about it. So we decided to get a therapist. They decided to get a therapist for me.
How did this how did this affect your marriage?
It affected my marriage because I didn't want it to look to my husband weak. And when these type of things are rushing through my mind, I wasn't feeling sexually aroused. Like I just didn't want to have no type of sexual activity. Like I just wanted to go to sleep. I couldn't even focus. I didn't feel sexy. I didn't feel like I wanted to do anything but just go to bed. I couldn't focus. Who can focus?
So you were sleeping a lot.
Yes.
Cardi, I heard you testify about how these statements affected the way you interacted with social media. Is that correct?
Yes.
So you felt like you couldn't even put pictures of yourself with your newborn baby on social media.
Objection leading.
You need to not leave. I'm sorry.
Did this affect the way you interacted with your fans?
Kind of did, kind of didn't. You know what I'm saying?
Were any of your fans repeating these statements?
They were repeating these statements, and I could just tell, like, certain fans, they were like tired of like defending me. They just felt overly defeated because no matter how many times, like, your fans will bring up receipts about the truth, she didn't care about the truth. She just kept spreading it, spreading it, spreading it. So everybody felt defeated. Everybody just felt tired.
So, when you were talking about the comments of people responding to the pictures you'd post with culture,
uh
how did those comments make you feel?
I was very upset. I was very upset, and that's why I kept telling myself, like, this this is why I got to stop. Because and to this day, if people search this up, people still call me herpes B. People call me cold sore B. She still calls me that. So it always gets brung up. To this day, people say, like, hey, yeah, but Cardi was in the strip club fucking herself with a beer bottle, which is not true, which it wasn't me. So it still affects me and it's still going on.
Does it concern you that culture and your son, when they get older, will see these disgusting statements on social media or these videos or these accusations of you doing these things?
Of course, all the time. And I'll be, I don't have the same. I didn't grow up as a child with the same worries they'll be having. So sometimes I just think about they mental health because I'm an adult. You know what I'm saying? And I'm going through this like as an adult, and I feel defeated. I feel depressed. I feel like a body just walking. So sometimes I feel like, what am I going to do to help my kids with these type of things, these type of like things that's going on?
Your Honor, I'm sort of at a natural breaking point where I'm going to do a different direction. Would you like to break for lunch now?
Sorry. We can break. We can break now. Ladies and gentlemen, we'll break for lunch. We'll come back at 1:30. That's at least 5 minutes longer than normal. Take your notes with you into the jury deliberation room. Remember my instructions about not talking about the case over your over your lunch break, and we'll see you back in an hour. Thank you.
Um,
Court deputy.
What page are we on? Because I'm getting confused here, all these pages.
All right.
201.
201,
101,
101.
101, sorry.
line 6.
All rise. Wherein the jurors exit the courtroom.
Anything we need to talk about before 1:30?
I do have something to say, Your Honor, but we can do it before. But we can do it before when we get back.
Well, let's do it now because I don't want to hold the jury up when they come back. You can have a seat, ma'am, or you can step down if you wish. Yes, ma'am.
Yes, Your Honor. The plaintiff testified on direct, as Your Honor heard, that she had saved the way she was able to pay for her album and her music career is by hosting parties and saving money to do that.
Sorry? Say that again now?
I'm sorry.
I'll tell you what, Miss Moore, why don't you step back and let her come to the.
Sure. Yeah, of course, Your Honor.
I'm sorry. The plaintiff just testified on direct that she used to host parties nationwide and save money for that. And that is how she was able to finance her music career, her album and her music career. I don't know if Your Honor recalls at the pre-trial conference, there is a video of the plaintiff stating that the way she was able to finance her career was by having to drug and rob men to do so. Now your honor now your honor had ruled that out previously, and I am asking before I do it because I don't want to, you know, I don't want to have a mistrial, but I would want to impeach her with that specific video because it is contradictory to what the plaintiff testified to.
So, okay, so I remember the video that you're talking about. I don't remember it in relationships to funding her career. I thought it was simple that I mean, we didn't see the whole video. I saw a snippet of the video and I may not remember it all correctly. But there are some statements made by the plaintiff about bringing people back. Depending on how you interpret that language, drugging them, taking money from them, I'm not sure that I ruled that out. I thought that was relevant to the issue of whether or not I thought the defendant was saying that video substantiated claims or at least provided a good faith basis to the defendant saying that she had prostituted. I don't remember saying that was out.
That was what I was arguing at the time, Your Honor, and I didn't. It is relevant for this purpose as well. We do have the video.
Wait a minute. Let's focus on the facts. You said I ruled it out.
Well, I believe you said that we could not use that as evidence of prostitution. Is that, I mean, is what you said. And because it was, of course, it would prejudicial. I mean, it would be prejudicial because of the, admission made in the video.
I might have to see it again to understand because I remember seeing the video. I don't remember my ruling that way. I happen to have a former staff lawyer here who was working with me when we made those decisions. But you're saying that regardless of whether or not I supported the prostitution defense or not, that it supported that it would be admissible to counteract her testimony that she had parties to help fund her music career.
Correct. And I mean, as impeachment evidence, because in the video she stated that that's how she got the money to make her, to get her, to get studio time to make her first album.
How is it necessarily inconsistent then, though? I mean, how does the video impeach her testimony today in court?
Because today in court she said she the way she was able to finance that was through hosting parties all over the country and save money for that.
Okay, so let's just assume that what she testified today is true. Let's assume that your interpretation of the video is correct. That she said that I funded my music career based upon taking these men to do whatever. I'm not sure that those are necessarily mutually exclusive things.
I guess my question is, I am allowed to ask her about it then, because I don't want to do that without first bringing it up into the court.
Well, as long as you have a purpose, and the purpose would be.
First, I would ask, well, I guess she's here, so she's going to know now. But, was that the full way you financed the music career? And if she said no, then that would then make it impeachment evidence.
If she said no, it would make it admissible.
It would make it, it would be impeachment. Like if she said that the parties were the sole way she financed her music career, then that would be.
Well, but does it? Well, okay, let me assume for a minute that the videos are out for the purpose of prostitution, okay? If she said no, that's not the sole way it's just not the sole way I funded my music career. Introducing the reason, or excuse me, introducing the other ways that she financed her music career doesn't impeach what she said. So it's not admissible for that purpose. It's a collateral issue not relevant to the issue in the lawsuit. If she said yes, the only way I financed my music career was these parties, then perhaps it would be impeaching for that point. Then the question becomes whether that point is a material point or not, to which the prejudicial nature of the video itself might outweigh the probative value of the desire to impeach, because it's not an issue really that's in the lawsuit. Really, then it comes back to whether or not the video is admissible for the basis of the plaintiff's claim. Excuse me, the defendant's claim that she had prostitution. So let's focus on that, because I'm not sure I'm with you about what you said today. And Ms. Matz, has been eager to speak about that, I'm guessing. So, what else do you want to say about that?
Yeah, if I may just make one more point. While I understand that it may be a collateral issue, but her character for truthfulness is, at the forefront. That's going to be one of the things that the jury has to decide. And it's, basically her word against my client's word. And,
Her word against your client's word about what? Let's back up. Your client doesn't know her. I'm guessing the first time she ever saw her in person was Monday, right?
right. What I mean is, it's going to be what she's saying and her credibility versus what my client's saying and my client's
Oh my
credibility.
God.
Okay.
Well, yeah, but the rules of evidence don't stop right there. You still have to consider the factors that are found in Rule 403. And so, which 403 says that the court may exclude relevant evidence if its probatable value is substantially outweighed by danger of one or more of the following: unfair prejudice, confusing the issue, misleading the jury, undue delay, wasting time, and needlessly presenting cumulative evidence. And then there's also, some consideration, I suppose, of Rule 402 as well. But in any event, let's go back to the issue of the video itself. What I do remember, okay, let me do this. Let's go to Ms. Matson, hear what she has to say about the video, and then come back and hear what you have to say.
Do you want me to step back to?
I've already ruled on it, but I don't remember it the way y'all said I ruled. But that doesn't mean that's not what I said back then. So let's just hear Miss Matz what she has to say.
So I step away so she can.
Yeah, let her come up. So come on up so you can speak into the microphone so it makes it easier for the court reporter's transcripts.
Thank you, Your Honor. Your Honor, just to make it easier for you also, I do have oh, I'm sorry, habit. No, thank you. Your Honor, I appreciate the reminder. So just so you recall, I do have the pretrial conference transcript up, and the discussion of this began on page 64. And it was approximately 2 pages long, just to help Your Honor find the prior conversations about this. When we watched the video, Ms. Asmalova said, we all watched the language. We watched the video. Ms. Esmalova made an argument that she thinks my client was literally agreeing to some sort of prostitution by admitting to take a person back to their hotel room and sleep with them and then ended up taking their money. Your Honor, we had a long discussion about this. Your Honor ruled that that wasn't prostitution, that, this was, to the extent we're talking about an agreement to have sex with someone. That's something people do in America every single day. So the prior ruling, we had moved in limine to exclude this on a couple of grounds. One was relevance, but the other was prejudice here. And I do not agree with Miss Esmalova at all. Just to make this point about the other point she's making, that my client made any admissions or statements in that video that would contradict her testimony on the stand.
Okay, so why don't we do this? Somebody has got the video handy. Why don't we play it again? Let me just look at it again, refresh my memory. I'm sure you're certainly had access to it, and you probably seen it since I've seen it. Let me remind myself about why I ruled the way that I ruled, because that's probably been what, 9 months ago that I looked at it
Yeah, and it was in November, and
this year.
yes, and just so to help Your Honor,
I looked at it in November of this year.
we were supposed to go to trial on the 8th, and that was adjourned because there was a medical situation.
And not before August, September timeframe.
No, I'm talking about, I think it was,
Well, let me look at it again.
that's fine, Your Honor.
All right, are you connected? Show me the relevant parts. Wait, let me see my phone. I'm sorry.
Deputy,
Whereupon,
Okay, hold
Deputy.
on. Oh, hold on. All right, you're connected. I show me. Okay, hold on. Back it up to where you started because when it first started, the other video was playing too, and I couldn't hear it.
Sabat.
Celia.
One second.
Sorry, Your Honor. I'll just read that part. Okay.
Whereupon a video recording was played.
All right. So, first of all, man, you talk so fast in that video, hard for me to keep up with everything you said, but now I recall. There certainly is nothing there that makes it sound like to me that the plaintiff was admitting to prostitution. At best, it sounds like she's saying, I had sex with men and I robbed them. I've certainly had cases in the past where people have done that and robbing crews come in and they rob people. And I'm not saying that that's what happened here, but it sounds like it could be something like that. But it doesn't sound like prostitution. I understand why the defendant would want to use it because if that's played to the jury and the jury's impression might be like my impression is like that, that there was some misrepresentation to the men about a romantic or maybe they just a one night situation that was all designed for purposes of robbing them and not for companionship of that night. And if in fact that is true, that's not good, but it's not prostitution. And the purpose that the defendant would want to use that for would be the cast of the plaintiff in a false light, excuse me, not a false light necessarily, a negative light. And that doesn't go, while that impression might not be a good one, it doesn't go to prostitution, which is the allegation that the defendant made when she said that she was a prostitute. So I stand by now with my memory refreshed with my original decision that it's not relevant to the issue of prostitution. And I don't see that it's admissible at this point. If you ask the plaintiff on cross examination, there are other ways that you raise money to fund your studio time and develop your music career. And she said no, then arguably it might be relevant then. I don't know what she's going to say. If if she were to say no, nor am I ruling that it's admissible, I have to think about that a little bit. If she were to say that there were other ways, then the other ways aren't relevant to the issue in the lawsuit, other than the fact that the defendant wants to use it because they want the jury to hear it, because they think that the jury would not like the plaintiff because of the other things that she may have done. We're not opening the door for the other things that people have done that aren't good things.
Your Honor, I didn't ask her those.
Hold on a second. I'm talking.
Uh-oh.
Don't say another word.
Okay.
I'm just
Excuse me?
I'm just talking theatrically here because the bad things that the plaintiff may have done in her life, the bad things that the defendant, Miss Keevy, has done in her life or her husband may have done in his life just aren't relevant to the issues of this lawsuit. That the defendant made statements about the plaintiff that weren't true with malice or recklessness, and was the plaintiff damaged because of those statements. So, I will think about it during the next 50 or so minutes, whether or not, if the plaintiff says that the exclusive way she raised funds were for her music career promotion was simply having these parties. That's pretty vague in it itself to me. I don't know really what that means, but if she says that they weren't exclusive, then this video is not going to be admissible for the purpose that the defendant was proffered, which was to prove prostitution or good faith basis for that. So is there anything else you want to talk about?
Not at this time. Thank you.
Okay, so all right, so we'll finish. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All rise. Court stands in recess until 11:30.
1:30.
Whereupon a 1:30, whereupon a recess was taken from 12:40 p.m. until 1:30 p.m. All rise.
Thank you.
Please be seated and come to order.
The plaintiff can return to the stand. So before we bring the jury back in, which one of you are going to ask questions? Okay, don't stand up again. All right, you.
Yes, sir.
You objected once during her cross-examination. At least that's what
No, sir.
various parties have told me that you objected.
He did not.
I know I saw you start to stand up one time and then you sat back down.
We were standing when the jury was coming, sir. I never.
No, no, no. That's not what I'm talking about. You actually started to stand up one time and I didn't see you. I didn't see you object, but I've been told by my staff you did object
Object?
during the last
Yep, he
testimony.
did.
It's in the transcript, sir.
He did.
Just don't do it. If you didn't do it, then there's no worries.
All right. All right, sir.
He
But
just-
don't do it because if you do it, then I'm going to call you out for it because it's one lawyer per witness. That's pretty universal. You can bring the jury back in.
All rise, whereupon the jurors enter the courtroom. Please be seated and come to order.
All right. Thank you. Ms. Moore, you can proceed.
Thank you, Your Honor. Cardi, did you ever share underwear with Star Marie Jones?
No,
Did you ever sit in a taxi cab with no underwear on?
I think so. Sometimes I don't wear underwear.
But you never shared panties with Star Marie Jones?
No.
Okay, so that part is a lie?
Yes.
Have you ever asked anyone to send a story to Tasha K or to Kibi Studios about you?
No.
Have you ever sent a story to Tasha K or Kibi Studios about yourself?
The only time that I ever sent her anything was that time that I said in the beginning when I was explaining to her that I didn't know Star Marie. That was the only time that I was commenting and I was telling her she never lived with me. I don't know her. She only worked at the club that I worked in. That was the only time from myself. I typed it from my page.
I like
One
to put
second, everybody. 1 second. We're going to pause until we get some likes up. Can we get the likes up, everyone? Can we get the likes up? Now, you know these people are doing a great job. My actors are doing a great job. The least you could do is hit the like button and show your appreciation for this. It's like watching a movie tonight or listening to a movie or radio show. How many likes do we have, mods? We got 86. We got 109 people in here and 86 likes. Really, guys? Really? Can we get at least 10 likes? I'm going to give y'all time just to go out and come back in. Nine more likes, y'all. How many likes do we have now? Wow, they still trying to hold off on that 9 likes, huh? Need 6 more. 3 more.
Can you give me 3 minutes?
1 more. 1 more. Sure, I'll give you 3 minutes. We got Mr. Byron in the house. Hey, Mr. Byron, thank you so much. We had this wonderful Cardi B because Mr. Byron referred her. Shout out to Mr. Byron. He owed me because he stood me up last night. I mean, literally stood us up. Are you ready, Miss Moore? I'm gonna play a little music for you guys while we wait for Miss Moore.
Okay. Mhm.
Okay, thank you very much. All right, we're back. Back to roll 'em.
Okay. I like to pull up, please, P1. Cardi, have you seen this before?
Did Cardi step away?
I think.
No, okay, sorry. All right. Yes.
What is this?
That right there is, well,
Uh, There we go. The right one is on now.
yes. Those are my results for my herpes test that I took at UCLA.
Okay, so this right here are the best results from when you were tested for herpes at UCLA.
Yes.
And when were you tested for herpes?
I was tested in August 12th, 2020.
And what was the result?
Negative.
And who performed this test at UCLA?
My doctor, Grisales.
Carly, when is your birthday?
10/11/92.
Does your date of birth appear anywhere on this record?
Yes.
And why does it say Bonnie Crown?
Because I go through different alias. I don't know if I'm saying it correctly for security purpose. Everybody.
An alias?
Yes, an alias. Everybody knows my name, so for security purposes and privacy purpose.
Your Honor, I like to move P1 into evidence.
Any objections?
No objection.
Let me just ask: are these the tests that was subject to that was sent directly to the court, or is it?
No, Your Honor. Thank you for clarifying. These are the ones that were originally submitted, and we have the certificate of authenticity, which Your Honor has seen.
All right, thank you. P1 has been admitted.
Thank you, Your Honor. Deputy?
Where plaintiff exhibit 1 was marked for purpose of identification and admitted into evidence.
I'd like to show you now P1018. Cardi, have you seen this before?
Yes.
What is it?
That was me when I was 7 years old.
So that picture fairly and accurately reflects what you looked like when you were 7 years old.
Yes.
Your Honor, I like to move in P1018.
Any objections?
No objection.
P1018 is admitted without objections.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Plaintiff's exhibit 1018 was marked for purposes of identification and admitted into evidence.
Cardi, in this photograph, what is on the left side of your mouth that's very close to your lip?
It is my birthmark.
You were born with a birthmark?
Yes, right here. It's a beauty mark.
You've had that birthmark since you were born?
Yes.
Cardi, is it funny to be accused of having herpes?
No, it's not funny.
I like to show you P2, please. Cardi, have you ever seen this before?
Yes.
Your Honor, I like to move P2 into evidence, please. The world?
Any objections?
No objection. No objection.
All right. P2 is admitted without prejudice, without objection. I'm sorry.
Okay. Oh, so thank you, Your Honor. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize. I just jumped ahead. Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate it. Cardi, what is this?
No, we just missed like a section here. Where are we now?
Yeah, I think I just skip. I'm trying to see where we are.
We were on 117, line like 20 at the
Yeah,
bottom.
I said P2. I asked about P2. Your Honor, I'd like to move P2 into evidence, please.
No objection.
All right. P2 is admitted without
No,
objection.
No, she
21.
really had.
Oh, 21. I keep going down. I'm sorry. 21. Okay. She really hasn't laid the foundation.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I apologize. I jumped ahead. Thank you, Your Honor. I appreciate it. Cardi, what is this?
those are the test results that I did in UCLA for HPV.
Okay, great. Your Honor, I'd like to move this in evidence, please.
No objection.
All right. P2 is admitted without objection.
Plaintiff's Exhibit 2 was marked for the purpose of identification and admitted into evidence.
Cardi, what was the date that you were tested for HPV at UCLA?
9/23/2020.
Cardi, do you see your birthday anywhere on this test result?
Yes, it's right there. It says DOB 10/11/1992.
Above where it says negative for high risk APV DNA?
Yes,
Okay, Cardi, why does this say Elizabeth Chambers?
because I use different a
Alias?
alias. I'm sorry, y'all. I use different alias for security reasons, for privacy, literally everywhere.
Have you ever found it funny to be accused of having HPV?
No.
Do you have any tattoos?
Yes, I do.
Do you have more than one?
Yes.
How many do you have?
Oh, I have one, two, three, four, five, a really big one, six, and seven. It's like a big, big tattoo from the beginning of the back, from like the back of my thigh.
What's the first tattoo you got?
My first tattoo was this one. It's my mother's name,
Can you tell us what it says?
Belkis.
That's your mother's name?
Uh huh.
I like to show you Cardi P1005. Have you seen this before?
Yes.
What is it?
I'm not sure if like the screens are showing everywhere or just mine.
Ignore the writing. I'm just talking about the photograph.
Oh, okay. That is me at a red carpet before the Grammys, and those are my tattoo. One of them says Hennessy, and one says loyalty and royalty.
Okay, stop there, Your Honor. I like to move P1005 into evidence.
No objection.
1005 is admitted without objection.
Plaintiff's Exhibit 1005 was marked for the purpose of identification and admitted into evidence.
So, Cardi, this picture fairly and accurately depicts what you looked like at the time it was taken, correct?
Yes.
Okay, so your first tattoo was your mother's name on your wrist. This big mark right here.
Yes.
Okay, is it your right wrist or your left wrist?
Right.
Okay, when did you get your second tattoo? Actually, let's stop for a second. So let's go back to the photograph. Let's look back at P1005 for a second. So I see the tattoo we were just talking about, the first one. And I apologize because I think I cut you off. Can you, I'm sorry, can you tell us, yeah, can you zoom in for a second, please? What is this tattoo right here? Can you tell us about this?
It's my mother's maiden name.
No, no, I'm sorry. Can you look at the screen?
This right here?
Yes. Is it zoomed in? Do you see this tattoo right here?
Yes.
That's your mother's name?
Yes, right here on my wrist is my mother's name.
Right. But do you see where he zoomed in on your arm?
Yes. Okay. Oh,
Okay, I'm sorry. I wasn't being clear. That's the tattoo I'm looking at.
You're pointing on. We can't see your finger.
Yes, I know. I'm sorry, Your Honor. Sorry, Cardi. Cardi, what is the tattoo that appears on your arm right here?
it says loyalty and royalty.
And when did you get that?
I got that tattoo in 2010.
Okay, loyalty and royalty.
Yeah.
Okay, could you zoom over to the other side of the photograph, please? There. Cardi, on your other arm near your shoulder, that very large, prominent tattoo, what does that say?
That says Hennessy. That's my little sister's name. Younger sister name.
And when did you get that tattoo?
In 2010.
Can you please zoom out so we can see the whole image? Thank you. Are there any other tattoos depicted in this photograph?
There's one on my left wrist.
Okay, can you zoom into that, please? Cardi, what does that tattoo say?
It says Tommy.
I'm not going to ask you why it says Tommy, okay?
G. Tommy G.
Okay, I like to show you P1007. Have you seen this before?
Yes.
And what is it?
It's a picture of me in the strip club with my stripper outfit on.
Your Honor, I like to move this into evidence. P1007.
No objection.
Okay, P1007 is admitted without objection.
Miss Moore.
Deputy. Okay, she's not gonna say that. Okay.
Plaintiff's Exhibit 107, 1007 was marked for purpose of identification admitted into evidence.
Okay, Cardi, what is this tattoo? This large tattoo depicted on your hip. What does that say, or what is it?
It is a cheetah and it's on my left hip and stomach. It's a cheetah.
And when did you get that tattoo?
I got that tattoo in 2011.
Okay, so your first tattoo you got in 2008.
Yes. When I was 15, my mom's name.
Your second tattoo, the peacock, you said no, no, not the peacock. The loyalty and royalty you got in 2010,
Yes.
and then the Hennessy you got in 2010. Is that correct?
Yes.
And when did you get the Tommy tattoo?
I'll say 2016.
Okay, and the cheetah tattoo you said 2011. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay, I like to show you P1011, please. Cardi, have you seen this before?
Yes.
What is it?
It's a picture of me in the strip club.
Your Honor, I'd like to move P1007 into evidence.
No objection.
P1007 is admitted without objection.
Thank you, Your Honor. Cardi, can you describe this tattoo that we see in this photograph across a large part of your side and stomach and back area?
Okay. This is a tattoo that starts a little bit under my bra line and it ends all the way to the bottom of my thigh. It's like from the back of my thighs and it's very big. It's a big peacock with flowers surrounding it. It covers almost practically like covers my whole entire side really. And it's very colorful, very bright. It's really big on my butt as well. It's a big tattoo.
Cardi, if you don't mind, would you mind just standing up? It's a little hard to see because you're sitting. Could you stand up and show us exactly where it is?
So my tattoo starts from here, all the way from up here, and then goes from here going here. So just this whole
Thank you, Cardi.
right side of me.
Thank you. I'd like to show you a P1013, please. Have you seen this before, Cardi?
Yes.
And what is it?
It's a before and after of how my tattoos used to look. This is how my tattoo was when I first got it, tatted in 2010.
Okay, just stop there for 1 second. I'd like to move into evidence, picture 1013.
No objection.
P1013 is admitted without objection.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Plaintiff's Exhibit 1013 was marked for the purpose of identification and admitted into evidence.
So I'm sorry, Cardi. Could you start again, please? What is this an image of?
All right. So I got this tattoo in 2010, and as you can see, it starts all the way up here. It got flowers, it got smoke in the butt area, it got like a tree trunk, and it got smoke with red skies and flowers, and down my thighs it goes with feathers, and right was the updated version because I gave her a renovation in 2020. So that's the before, and this is the after.
And when did you get Peacock?
I got her in 2010.
Okay.
She's a girl.
So did you have all of the tattoos we've looked at before you were stripping?
Yes.
Cardi, you've heard testimony that defendants have repeatedly published statements that you appear in what we call the beer bottle video.
Yes.
Have you seen that video?
Yes.
Does that woman look anything like you?
No.
Are there any tattoos anywhere on that woman's body?
No.
When is the first time, Cardi, that you heard the rumor that this was you in the beer bottle video engaging in this debasing act with the beer bottle?
I think in 2017.
Apart from your prominent tattoos, are there any differences between you and the woman that is depicted in that video?
Yes.
What are those?
I have bigger breasts, darker areolas. I think I'm a little bit more color than the girl, got more color than her.
When you say color, I'm sorry, do you mean her skin tone is different?
Than my skin tone, yeah. To me, yes.
Okay, so what did you do when you first heard the rumor that it was you in the beer bottle video doing this act with the bottle?
I addressed it and said it wasn't me.
Okay, so when you say you addressed it, I'm sorry, you addressed it where?
I addressed it on Twitter and I left like a couple comments just saying that wasn't me.
So you made public statements on social media as soon as you saw that it was not you.
Yes.
And what happened after you made those public statements denying that it was you, that it was you in the video?
I saw like publications of like people saying that wasn't me.
Okay. So I want to show you, Cardi, P509. Your Honor, this has already been admitted into evidence. Cardi, have you seen this before?
Yes.
And what is it?
Those are tweets from my page.
Okay. And I'm sorry, could you be more specific? Which page?
My Twitter page.
Okay, your Twitter page. Thank you. And what is the date that you made these?
In 2018.
Okay, so you posted these immediately after seeing the rumor, correct?
This is where I'm a little bit thing because I said like in 2017 because
I'm sorry to interrupt. I don't have P509 as having been admitted. Can you check your records, please?
I'm pretty sure Miss Matz admitted it.
Yes, Miss Max admitted it.
As P509?
I don't know what the number was now, but I know that she admitted the exhibit.
Okay, I'm just looking at my list and the number, and I could have gone to the wrong document.
Court
Deputy.
deputy. I don't recall.
Court. Okay, so I'll
Okay.
just say I don't have that number either.
Okay. I recall admitting it yesterday. I know you admitted it, but we need to obviously make sure.
Yeah, I just don't have 509 checked, and you don't either, Jennifer. I don't
I
have
don't
that
have that
number.
number.
It's the number that I'm concerned about. I remember reading that document, but
Hold on, let me look. There might be a duplicate. There might be a duplicate, Your Honor. Give me one moment, Your Honor.
let's just do this. Well, let's just do this. Well, we'll go ahead and see if I could stipulate the 509 if it's is admissible.
Yes, Your Honor.
All right, so I will mark it as being admitted, and maybe we'll find that it was a duplicate.
I believe it was 508, Your Honor. Just so you know, I just looked, but I'll check my notes.
Well, I don't have 508 indicated either, but we've admitted 509.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Whereas plaintiff exhibit 509 was marked for a purpose of identification and admitted into evidence.
So I'm sorry, Cardi. I think what you were saying was that you had been confused about when you saw the rumor.
Yeah, it's because 2017, 2018 kind of confused me. But I feel like this was the first time, I know this was like the first time that I started addressing this. And I said, that's not even me. So get off my dick, because it was like a video of it. And then I posted a picture that I guess the picture is not here. The picture was like me, like with like a stripper outfit on, and I said, "That's me." And you could see my tufts, and which I'm trying to say tits. It's big, and I'm tatted. That video with the bitch putting a beer on her vagina is not. I was a
Wow.
stripper, and I'm not ashamed. But don't go around spreading fake shit about me.
Mm.
Okay. I like to show you P247, which I believe has been previously admitted.
Um, 247 has not been. It was discussed, but I don't believe that it was admitted.
It was not Lisa. Okay, I'm sorry. So, Cardi, have you seen this before?
Yes.
And what is this?
That is one, I guess, one publication saying that is not me putting the beer bottle in.
Okay, I like to move P247 into evidence, Your Honor.
Any objections?
No objection.
P247 is admitted without objection.
Plaintiff's
Where,
exhibit 247 marked for the purpose of identification and admitted into evidence.
So, Cardi, going back for a moment, when you said I asked you what happened after you posted immediately upon finding this rumor,
Yeah.
you said the publications started picking it up.
Yeah.
Did you mean publications like this?
Yeah, publications that was like on Google and like certain pages on Twitter, just saying like, look, that's not Cardi, and especially because the girl that's actually in the video, she admitted it for that being her. She was actually proud. She calls herself.
objection, hearsay.
All right. Your response to the objection?
Well, Your Honor, I'll ask it another way. I think the witness just,
It may not have been what you asked, but the objection is sustained. So you can't tell us what other people have said for the truth of the matter. In other words, if someone said that this is me, that person has got to come in here and say that. You can't say that I heard that person say that because it really serves no purpose other than that. So just tell us about what you observed and heard and saw, and not what other people told you or you heard other people have said, okay? You understand the difference. We're talking about a rule called hearsay. And under the rule of hearsay, people have to come into court and testify. They can't testify through other people. So I'll tell you what, let's just try to do it this way. Ask your question again and ask another question.
Sure. Thank you, Your Honor. Cardi, that is not you in the beer bottle video, correct?
No.
Do you know the woman in the beer bottle video?
Yes.
Cardi, you testified before we took a lunch break that your emotional distress was so extreme that you needed to see a therapist. Is that correct?
Yes.
How much money have you spent on therapy related to the defamatory statements and the emotional distress that it caused you?
Therapy, I would say about 10,000 or a little bit more, but roughly about that.
How many times have you seen your therapist about this?
Over 10 times, a little bit over that, yeah.
Cardi, I'd like to show you P24, please. Have you seen this before?
Yes.
What is this?
This is when I flew my therapist.
Okay, go ahead.
This is when I flew my therapist to New York City because I had a mental breakdown.
Okay, stop there. I'd like to move into evidence P24, please.
No objection.
P24 is admitted without objection.
Thank you, Your Honor.
Plaintiff Exhibit 24 was marked for the purpose of identification and admitted into evidence.
So, Cardi, you were just testifying. This is when you flew your therapist to New York because you were in the middle of a mental health crisis, correct?
Yes.
When did that happen? When did your therapist come to New York?
It happened around 2018, say about like,
Was it near the time of the videos?
yes, it was like around super late October going to November.
Okay, and why did you feel the need to fly her to New York to see you?
I was just having like a mental freaking crisis. Like I couldn't stop crying. I couldn't stop shaking. I couldn't even think. My family was getting very concerned. So I just sort of like to fly to me because I felt like I couldn't really talk to her on the phone. Like she just had to see me. That's how I felt at the time. It was very intense. It was very intense. I kept shaking. I wasn't trying to eat. My mom was very scared. So I decided I had to call in Sherry to see me.
How long was she in New York with you?
She was in New York, I would say about like a weekend, like a whole weekend.
Did you do how many sessions did you do over the weekend? Or go ahead, just go ahead and answer.
I say it was like over 8 hours. I don't know if that's like considered like 4 sessions or so. I know I talked to her for about 8 hours.
Have you seen this therapist since that New York trip?
Yes.
How many times have you seen her since that New York trip?
Saw her speak.
How many times have you done a session with her, whether it was virtually or in person?
Altogether, I've done about 10 sessions. I'm not sure if it's one more.
I'd like to show you P45, please. Have you seen this before?
Yes.
And what is this?
I guess that's how much she charged me for a session.
I'd like to move P45 into evidence, please.
No objection.
P45 is admitted without objection.
Plaintiff Exhibit 45 was marked for the purpose of identification and admitted into evidence.
So this invoice, Cardi, reflects a bill for one of your sessions, correct?
Yes.
And what is the rate that you pay her for each of your sessions?
About 250, 250, unless like that time that I flew her in. It was of course a little bit more because she had to fly in and I would pay her flights and stuff like that coming here.
How many of your sessions have been virtual and how many have been in person?
I think about 4 sessions was in person.
Cardi, do you recall how much the New York trip cost you?
Uh I'm not sure if it was like around $4,000, around there, around that.
Have these sessions with your therapist helped?
It did help, and it's a little bit more personal, but I feel like I gained like a friend or something. Like I don't know, personal.
Are you still suffering from extreme emotional distress?
I am because I still get anxiety. I get anxiety because I feel like it's going to continue. I'm not in a super dark place that I was in 2018, 2019 when I felt extremely suicidal, extremely dead inside. But to this day, I still feel very anxious. I get very scared because I feel like it's still going to continue. It still continues. It's still going on. So, yeah.
You mentioned earlier in your testimony that you have felt humiliated. Do you still feel humiliated by these posts and videos?
I do feel humiliated because to this day, people still call me Herpes B. People still claim I have herpes. People to this day think that's me. The girl putting a freaking beer bottle up her inside her coochie. So yes, I do feel humiliated, and I feel like forever I will have to defend myself because of what when it's not true.
Are you continuing to work with your therapist, Cardi?
Yes,
I'd like to show you P4, please. Do you recognize this?
yes.
What is this?
It's the sessions, the hotel, the travel, airport transport, all of that.
Okay. I'd like to move P4 into evidence, please.
No objection, but I think that
I think you're right. I think this is the same one as, yeah, that's fine.
So are you,
I'm moving this into evidence, Your Honor.
I'm sorry.
I'm moving this into evidence.
You said it's the same as which one?
It's the same as P24. Actually, let's just do this. Can you pull up P24, please, which is already admitted? Carly, does this invoice reflect the amount you spent on that weekend long therapy and travel expenses with your therapist?
Yes.
And what is that amount?
I thought it was roughly $4,000, but I guess not. It's 5,480 $5,480.37.
Cardi, besides Star Marie Jones and the defendants, have you ever sued anyone else for defaming you?
No.
So the only individuals you've ever sued are the defendants and Star Marie Jones, correct?
Yes.
Cardi, do you think you have thin skin?
Sorry. Let me drink water. I don't think I have thin skin for criticism, but I have thin skin for lies, for outrageous lies. I do have thin skin for outrageous lies.
Your Honor, may I confer with co-counsel quickly?
Sure.
Brief pause.
Cardi, you testified to your extreme emotional distress that you mm, that you have experienced because of the vile and disgusting lies that the defendants have published about you.
Excuse me, can you say that again?
You've testified about your extreme emotional distress that resulted from the disgusting and vile, probably false lies
Yes.
that the defendants posted about you, correct?
objection, Your Honor. Counsel is testifying.
It's argumentative. It really is.
I'll withdraw. I'll withdraw. Cardi, has it been difficult to be here in court this week?
It has been very difficult, more than I ever thought. It has been very difficult because it's like I have to relive it. I've got to relive it. Feel like I'm getting PTSD from it. And I'm just like emotional. And I know I've been calling you and I've been telling you how I've been feeling. Like I've been having panic attacks in the morning because this just still continues.
I have no further questions, Your Honor.
All right. Thank you. Miss, I'll, yeah, her.
Yes, yes, Your Honor. What's on me? Good afternoon, Ms. Al Mazar. I'm going to ask you a lot of I guess, a lot of questions. So I'm going to try to break them up into categories so we can all kind of follow along. Okay. First, I would like to speak with you about some of your personal and professional accomplishments. Okay. In February of 2019, you won a Grammy for Best Rap Album. Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. And then in May 2019, the same year, you won a top female rap artist at Billboard Music Award. Is that correct?
Yes.
That sounds right. In December of 2019, you post that you had purchased a home and that you called your quote dream home here in Atlanta. Is that right?
Yes.
And of course, the pandemic probably slowed things down. But in August of 2020, you released a song with another artist named Megan the Stallion, and the song was called WAP, and that was a very successful hit. Is that correct?
Yes.
Also, in 2020, you became the first female rapper to be named Woman of the Year at the Billboard Women in Music Award. Is that right?
Yes.
In October of, I guess not this year, of 2021, you were able to attend the Paris Fashion Week in Paris.
Can you say that again?
I'm sorry. Did
Okay,
you attend the?
we had a lot of noise.
Oh, I'm sorry. That's my kids upstairs. Close the door. I'm sorry. Okay, I'm sorry. Where was I at? In October of, I guess, not this year. I said that one. I'm sorry. Did you attend the Fashion Week in Paris in October of 2021?
Yes.
Okay, and then in November of 2021, you were the host of the American Music Awards. Is that right?
Yes.
And at that award, you actually won. And at that award show, you actually won an award for one of your songs called Up.
Yes.
Also, I believe somewhere around November of 2021, you had signed a deal with Warner Chapel Music. Is that right?
What did you say? Repeat the question.
I'm sorry, what Warner Chapel Music, you signed on with them in November 2021?
I'm not sure if it was October or November, but I did.
Toward the end of 2021 at some point.
Yes.
Okay. And then also somewhere right around that time, did you purchase a home in New York?
Yes.
You were kind of busy toward the end of last year. You had released a vodka whipped cream called Whip Shots. Yes.
Yes.
I'm sorry. And also, then also, you collaborated with Halle Berry on a soundtrack for a movie called Bruised.
Yes.
And then I believe toward the end of last year, sometime you had posted that you were the first female rapper to have earned 3 diamond singles. Is that right?
Yes.
And you now also have been named the creative director for Playboy magazine. Is that correct?
Yes.
Also, I think toward the end of last year, you were and your husband celebrated his birthday in a looks like a club type setting,
Yes.
and you were able to give him for his birthday 2 million.
Yes.
And throughout the party, did you all throw a lot of cash into the audience?
Not into the audience. We threw it at the dancers that we hired to dance.
Okay, and do you remember how much in total that was thrown?
I'm not sure because that was his money.
Okay, so now I want to move on and talk a little about social media use. Okay, you are a frequent user of social media. Is that fair to say?
Yes.
and specifically, I'll be speaking about Instagram and Twitter. You're familiar with those two platforms.
Yes.
And I believe on both of the platforms, your username is at the symbol, the at symbol, I am Cardi B.
Yes.
Is that correct?
Yes. I'm not sure if it's changed now to Cardi B, but am Cardi B, that was, yeah.
Okay. And I don't know if you know the specifics, but do you know around how many followers you have on Instagram? You know currently or last year, last time you look checked?
No, it's like in the 100 millions. I'm not.
If I checked at the end of 2021 and I saw 120 million, does that sound about right?
Yes.
And then as far as Twitter is concerned, at the end of last year, I saw about 20 million followers. Does that sound about right to you?
Yes.
And I believe that you have testified on direct that you have been using Instagram before you became like a famous rap artist. Is that right? I think you have referred to yourself. You said that it was, quote, like an internet sensation.
I'm not sure if I said that, but I was using Instagram before I became famous.
But before you started making music, or I guess before you became famous from making music, you had quite a large following on Instagram. Is that right?
Yes. It went little by little. Yes.
But you gained, I would say, is it fair to say it was about a million followers or so before your first like hit on record?
Uh huh.
And a lot of the content that you would have posted was in the form of videos, like maybe short little video clips and stuff like that.
Yes.
And a lot of it was just you speaking on whatever topic you wanted to speak on.
Yes.
Not exclusively, but a lot of videos where you talked about you talked to basically your followers.
Yes.
All right. When you testified on direct about what the term dragging mean, you stated that it's when a person will say negative things about someone. Is that right?
Yes.
But is it fair to say that negative things do not 100% of the time mean false things?
Can you repeat that again?
Negative things and false things, those are two different things. Is that correct?
It's two different things, but when you drag somebody, you could do both.
Right. But just because you're dragging someone doesn't mean you're doing both all the time.
Not all the time.
Okay. Do you recall making a video where you're, I think, sitting getting your makeup done and you're talking about what hip hop means to you?
Can you repeat that?
I'm sorry. Do you recall making a video while I think you were getting your makeup done by someone else and you were talking about, what hip hop means to you? I can read you some quotes if you would like to maybe refresh your memory.
Yes, I remember.
You remember this video I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay, and if I can I would like to show you just without saying it, but the beginning of Defense 36 just for identification purpose, Your Honor. It's going to do it.
He's
Whereupon a video recording was shown.
Does that look like the video that I'm talking about? Do you remember this?
Yes.
Okay, Your Honor. At this time, I would like to move Defense Exhibit 36 into evidence.
Any objection, Ms. Moore? Any objection?
Yes, Your Honor. I'm sorry. We're not clear that this video is authentic or where it came from.
Well, I mean, your client just said it was her. What else would you need to be shown to?
that's her, but we're not sure that the video itself has been edited or where it came from.
All right. I'm going to ask the jury if y'all would go to the jury room and let me have a conversation with counsel for a moment. Thank you.
All rise, whereupon the jurors exit the courtroom.
Okay, yeah, we're gonna stop at this point. Guys, did y'all hear me?
Yes.
Yes,
That was
ma'am.
a lot of fun. I really
Woo!
enjoyed
Cardi,
working with you ladies.
Oh,
Cardi
Cardi, we
is
love you. We
fire.
love you.
Oh
Yes.
God, glad you guys liked it.
It was wonderful. But you know, you still
Listen,
got
I
more.
thought,
You know that, right? You're not done today.
yeah, I thought we were doing this on the 18th, so I was a little bit rushing, but I'm glad that I'm glad that it came out all right. So
Good. Doing good. Yay.
Yay.
Awesome. Awesome.
Yay.
Look, Dennis said that's when he run out the courtroom. All right, guys. What do y'all think? What do you think, Cardi? What do you think about what happened with you?
I mean, it's a tough situation to be in. Obviously, when you decide to become a celebrity, you know that it's a part of the deal. You're gonna thrust yourself into the spotlight, but at the same time, like, we're all human, we're all people, and for somebody to, like, slander your name and spread things that aren't true, not only is it damaging for your career, but also it's very difficult, like, when you're trying to be a woman, like, of today's age. We want to do it all. We want to have a career, we want to have kids, and she's got young kids that will be able to go online and see this. So I definitely see why it's important for her to set the bar that it's not okay.
Yeah. Yeah. Anybody else have any thoughts about what we read tonight? Miss Moore, what do you think?
I think that I really believe that it did affect her totally, and I can understand why, and especially with her just having her daughter, and just knowing that how she felt, like she said, dead inside. That's hurtful. And for someone to keep badgering you and lying and repeatedly lying, and you're like crying in the background, like saying, no, 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 it's not true. And they still going on and on and on. That's too much.
Yeah. And for her to take it to her own hand and do it, that meant it really bothered her, because most of those celebrities have one of their PR or somebody else just go and, type something up to them. But she was
Right.
going inside the DMs and things like that herself to
Yep.
do it.
Trying to defend herself.
Yeah. Yeah. Sherry said it breaks her heart on what Cardi had to endure. I mean, even when she suicidal. I mean, do you know how many artists is like that lady that just took her own life? You know that actress, not the actress,
Yes.
the beauty queen.
Model, yeah.
Yeah, and then you have like Robin Williams and all
Hmm.
of these stars. They go through things just like we do, but
They
people,
are
Absolutely.
human. They are
yeah,
human.
and people thinking that just because they star, they got money, that they can handle all this hardship, and people picking on them. They pick on them all the time.
And
Yeah,
it
and
could
it's
it could be
sad because
overwhelming.
Hardship
it
and
seems like it's
they pick on them all the time.
like
Dennis, turn
for
your thing down.
monetary gain,
Hardship
for
and
clickbait.
Tasha knew.
turn yourself down. I'm gonna mute him.
Like
Dennis, okay, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Tasha, she knew what she was doing because she has done this before. So this ain't nothing new to her. Every time somebody don't agree with her and don't want to come on her show, she does that.
Yeah, it's like for clickbait.
Yep.
Like she just wants to grab a bunch of people to, watch the videos, click on the articles, because people love gossip. People love to entertain that stuff. So it just, it just sucks for Cardi and all the other people that are in this type of situation.
Yeah. I don't think she felt that Cardi was actually going to press forward and do this. Because, like Olga said, she's done this before to other people, and it kind of, faded out, faded on, and people really probably didn't have the money to push it all the way this far. And so I think that kind of threw her as well.
But you know, it's important. It's important for artists to set the bar. You know, for the artists, other artists that are going to be coming up in the industry. It's good for Cardi B to stand up for something that's important and should be monitored, because social media, you know, it's relatively new, and you know, we're making up the rules as we go, and you know, some things should just not be okay.
True.
Yeah, yeah.
And the fact that Cardi was young. She was young when this was going on. So she didn't know how to really handle this. She did, she just coming into her stardom, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Just having her kids, she's married, all this stuff, and then this lady, crazy lady, harassing her.
Much older crazy lady.
Yeah, and don't care. It's like she did not care. The lady Cardi's telling her the truth, telling her it's not, and she's continue to keep going on, putting all kind of nasty stuff. It's
I
crazy.
mean, if that was happening to like a regular person, I think they would be very disturbed. You know, imagine like having it happen and then also have all these people watching it on top of it. Like that's a lot.
Guys, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. Hello, Mr. Dennis. How are you?
Hey, guys, first of all, I want to commend all the talent that has depicted the what I actually witnessed in the courtroom. And I would say that the the time that you have dedicated to this, while there was some interesting, some humorous parts in this in the case, but the reading, there we cannot forget the seriousness and the pain that Cardi had to endure during this trial. Sylvia was in the courtroom every day and saw this play out, as well as myself and a few other people. And we can't make light of the fact that there are people that are bullied all the time, and we had to actually witness this firsthand how she was affected. And
Mhm.
one of the things I want to point out that during the quote unquote Martin Luther King speech that the defendant made after this case, she pointed out that the transcripts would tell the true story. Well,
Mhm.
the transcripts are telling the true story. Everyone that didn't have the opportunity to be there in the courtroom are now seeing what actually occurred. And this is verbatim from the mouths of the testimony of the witnesses. And it just, I've covered so many trials over a span of over 20 something years. And it's always something in these trials that stands out for me. But when, the most painful part for me, being in the courtroom is watching Cardi talk about kissing her daughter. You have to remember she was going through this these verbal attacks while right after she had culture, and to think that any mother kissing a child and then being accused of having a disease, that had to be painful. And I don't know how many of you are mothers out there, but that had to be painful. But once again, I want to say that you guys did an awesome job, and I really want to say thank you to Miss Diane Diana Marilla for being a part of this read. And I mean, you guys have given your time time to do this, and I commend you. And by the way,
Thank
shout
you
out
very
to
much for inviting me. I appreciate it. It's been a blast meeting you ladies and doing this. So thank you very much for the opportunity.
And
Thank
I want to
you.
say shout out to the attorney Akeisha El Shabazz who actually dropped in the building. And I also want to say shout out to Cardi B who might have been in the bushes, ladies and
We
gentlemen.
know she was in the bushes. We know she was in the bushes.
Right,
Shout out to Cardi.
right. And let's just say that you guys did a good job. That's all I can say. And I noticed my picture came up, so I Everyone else is hiding their faces, but it's all good. I don't have a problem with it. I don't have a problem with it. Ladies and
Oh, I'm
gentlemen,
not
thank
hiding
you.
my faces. I'm right here, sir.
My hand is up.
Hey, okay, so you're a real person now. Sylvia's a
Yes,
real
I'm a real
person,
person.
a real person.
I'm a real person.
Uh, I'm sorry, I just got an interesting text, guys.
And what did the text say? What did the text say?
It says I'm not telling.
We love you, Cardi.
Listen, guys, support the channel. Support the channel. Like, share. And I want to also say that I've heard some other YouTubers talk about your read, because I know they don't have the transcript, but they referencing your read in their blog, vlogging. But I would say that you're probably going to look at this. Just give credit where credit is due. Call you. Okay.
Amen.
So I'm sorry. I'm reading text messages are coming in. But yeah, just support the channel. Help. It should be a lot more people watching this. I'm sure they will watch it. But share it. This thing's going to be on archived, so it's going to be available to share. Share it. You know, hey, just support the channel. She's doing a lot right now to pretty much make this. For people who thought my reporting was biased, from what you've seen, guys, did you think my reporting was biased?
No, it was
Not
all
at all.
No, it's vindicating those that were reporting from the courthouse.
Absolutely. So,
And it also showed that the machines were not lying.
right,
we the
As Tasha
machine did
said, the
this.
machines.
right. Well, ladies, thank you, everyone, for doing this. It was going to be done at some point, but I'm glad the person is doing it with integrity.
Yeah.
You can't really twist this testimony.
Nope.
You can't twist this. It stands for its own. Shout out to Judge Ray, because I'm sure you're watching this, Judge, as
Yes,
well as
Judge
the
Ray.
attorneys. Say
I
hello to
tried to
Judge
get my
Ray.
voice as I tried
Court
to get my
reporter.
voice as deep as I could.
Uh, you're gonna have to do a little harder. Maybe drink a Heineken before you get on.
Yeah.
And shout out to Lisa Moore and
Lisa.
Sarah,
And
Sarah, and Lisa's husband. We all say Lisa's husband. We know who you are.
Mr.
And
Andrew.
and shout out to Olga. Olga, I know we giving you a hard time, but Olga, you brought it on
I
yourself.
don't know what Olga's watching, but I know Tasha K. Cruz in here
I'm
somewhere.
sure they're all gonna be watching. They're all gonna be watching. Uh, I don't know if you got paid for this or you took this pro bono, but
It's all pro bono. We don't pay over here.
no, I'm talking about Olga. Olga, I'm talking to you, Olga.
Like I said, look, we
No, we're talking Olga. Olga, we're
Oh,
talking
okay,
to
okay.
Anyway,
My
guys,
whole question.
thank you for bringing me on. Keep doing what
Yeah,
you're
he
doing.
has a question. He has a question for you. She has a question for you.
No, I don't have a question for him. I'm sorry.
Oh,
I just wanted to say, like, ask people, like, would they like for someone to do this to their family? Would you like for someone, the followers who's following Tasha K, if this was to turn around and she started doing it to you, would you like that? This is wrong. You don't do people like that. And then when they
amen.
ask you to stop and you keep on, come on.
yeah, yeah.
I just think as a mom, as a woman, you know, there should be some type of boundaries.
Yeah.
Right. And
And even at
Cardi,
this point, I think we're all looking at her like you could own up and just say, hey, like I made a mistake, like, and apologize and be real. But like to just continue to, like,
yeah. And Cardi did try to um, you know, get on her lighter side and relate as a mother to a mother, and that didn't work. And I heard on what is it, Fox Soul with Funky Dineva and Claudia, and Funky Dineva said that I forgot the other platform. He said that they said that when they get any type of cease and desist regarding any celebrity, they immediately take their video down. And so he was saying, at the least, she should have at least taken the video down. And then Claudia said that she had got a call from TK and that TK told her to just watch, just wait and watch. And I said to Claudia, it's nothing to wait and watch. just listen to the transcripts.
Yeah.
And
Hey,
it almost
Cardi.
kind of it
I
almost
just
kind of seems like she's
I'm sorry,
taunting
y'all. I'm sorry. I'm just
still.
saying hi to Cardi. I just got a text. Hey, Cardi.
Hey, Cardi, we love you.
We love you, Cardi B.
Well, no, I was just saying it almost seems like she's still taunting her, like it was a taunt, like in some kind of way, still trying to pick and poke. Does that make sense? What I'm saying?
Yes,
Yeah.
because she's doing this tour talking about I ain't got the money and I got it all in trust. I ain't got a dime to my name. And she's still going around, uh,
I
Yeah.
mean, that just shows what type of person she is, and she doesn't know that, like, like she could have, like, this is the type of thing that gets you. And I don't want to use the word canceled because that's not the right term for this, but that's the kind of thing that like closes doors for you and opportunities. Because like, who's gonna want to work with you if this is the kind of results or this is the kind of risks that they run? You know, aside from
And
everything else.
yeah, and it's not so much. Again, I keep going back to the fact it has nothing to do with being a celebrity, with Cardi being a celebrity or whatever. It's about mother to mother, woman to woman, something so salacious and just so vile
yeah.
is what gets me.
But when you're dealing with someone that thinks they're above everything and everyone, she feels as though she can do whatever and get away with it and nothing will happen because no one has never taken it this far
True.
to go to
Yeah,
court.
got it.
I've been
Yeah.
saying from the first time I've seen her, she need to be 5150. I've always said that because I see how she go at other people.
Hmm.
And she really needs to be 5150. Some going on up there. I always say she was bullied in school and she must have said when she got older she would be a bully because that's what she does.
I was just
But
about to
this
say that's
time,
it's bullying.
yeah, this
Hmm.
this time she got somebody that said, "Okay, enough is enough."
And she's
You
the
know,
older person. You would think that she would be the one to try to take the higher road and stop it, especially after someone continuously and has given you receipts and you still going to go at them with the lies.
Yeah, and I think Sylvia, you said in court she was still kind of like taunting
To
Cardi.
Cardi, yeah, she was. You're gonna hear it like towards the end. The end, you hear what Olga says. You're gonna see. You're gonna hear it.
That she was taunt. Okay.
Yeah, it's gonna be in the end. It's gonna be weird.
So Olga was taunting Cardi.
No,
No,
Tasha.
Tasha was in
Oh,
court still.
oh wow.
Dun dun dun. The plot thickens.
Well,
Wow.
well, thank you guys. I appreciate you guys for being here, and we'll be back on tomorrow. Cardi, I hope you'll be here tomorrow to watch us, so we can continue. All right, guys. Thank you, everyone. Thank you, Mr. Byron. Oh, we do have another guest to play Miss Blake coming up, Dr. Blake. So it's gonna be pretty good. We got some good ones coming up around here. I mean, we have this
Can we
wonderful.
announce that tonight? Can we
You,
tell who she
you
is?
go ahead and make the announcement. Go ahead. She said you can tell it. Go ahead, tell it.
So the guest that will be playing in the Dr. Blake, who is Cardi's uh, therapist, is the one and only Alana Banks, who was the star of We TV's Selling It in the A. So go ahead and Google
yeah.
her.
Hey,
Yeah.
She was a star of the show, and she's volunteered to do the reading tomorrow. So shout out to Alana Banks, selling it in the A. She's also one of the top realtors in California.
Oh, she moved to California now.
Oh yeah, she's in California. She's selling it in the L.A. So yeah, shout out to Alana Banks, and she's, as accomplished as actress as well. and I appreciate her coming in and lending her voice to your platform.
Yes.
So yeah, that's pretty cool.
Thank you, Byron.
He has to make up for what he did to me yesterday. He stood me up.
That's right. That's right. That's
Well,
right.
it's not confirmed until she get here, so she actually speaking about.
No, but he did good today. Look who we have. We have
Yes,
Cardi
she
here,
was
right there.
awesome. She was awesome.
Oh, Cardi B was on here.
Yeah,
I
nice.
missed it.
Cardi B.
Cardi B is right here. I mean, she.
No, the reading. The reading.
Oh, okay. I'm
But
sorry.
Cardi was in the chat. Cardi's in the bushes.
Oh, she's in the bushes. Oh, okay. I was watching my hair. I'm sorry.
She was in the bushes. She was in the bushes. I know you was in the bushes, Cardi. I know already. All right. So, all right, guys. Thank you so much. You guys have a good night. We'll see you tomorrow. Is it going to be the same time, guys?
Do you think we could do it a little earlier? Because
Yeah,
tomorrow's my flea market. I mean, Sunday is my flea market day.
Okay, so Cardi, what time is earliest for you? Diana, excuse me. I keep calling you Cardi. Diana, what time is early for you? You would want?
Give me 1 minute if you don't mind. Let me just check real quick.
Okay.
So Judge Ray is not playing.
No, he's not. He's
not.
It is.
Yeah, I mean, he's doing it for both sides. He's
Judge Ray is not with the shits.
At least he haven't been acting. What you looking at? Why are you looking at me?
I know, right?
That was funny.
That was strange.
I don't think he's being biased. Do you? Like he's
say he's doing it
the
for
same
both
way
sides.
with everybody.
Yep.
Yeah.
He's telling Miss Moore and he.
Okay. What time early would you ladies like to do it?
7:30.
Yeah, that sounds good.
Yeah.
Okay.
7:30 it is tomorrow, guys.
7:30
Eastern Standard Time.
Okay.
Eastern Standard Time. 7:30.
Well, make sure you know Alana know the time.
Oh, yeah, I'm
because
on
she's in California.
Oh, yeah, she in California. Okay.
So it's 4:30 her time.
Yeah, but hers not coming on until later anyway, so I gotta send a message.
Is it gonna be tomorrow or is it another day?
Yeah, no, hers is gonna be tomorrow because it's gonna be finished tomorrow.
Okay.
She said any day was fine with her. She's cool.
Okay.
But thank you again, Dennis. Thank you, Diana. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Purple Couch and Tamiria, Tanya, and Powerful. Thank you, guys. I appreciate everything that you guys doing for me. And we're gonna say good night.
Good night.
Good
Good
night.
night.
Good night.
Good night.